Well, everybody, welcome to the Social Security Open Forum on this Eclipse Day of 2024, brought to you by the National Social Security Advisor Certificate Program. Before we get into the questions and answers for today's open forum, I want to play a little bit of music to accommodate the special day that it is.
I'm only falling apart. There's nothing I can do. A total eclipse of the heart. Once upon a time there was light in my life, but now there's only love in the dark. Nothing I can say. A total eclipse of the heart.
Not really hearing a whole lot.
Can you hear it all? Can you hear it all?
Every once in a while when they're singing, but other than that, no.
Okay, we will stop the music, folks, and get going with this open forum. It just came to me about 15 minutes ago that I should play that song for today. Anyway, thanks so much for being here. Appreciate everybody. I didn't know for sure what type of turnout we would have. Our eclipse doesn't really begin until about, what, Jim, 3:10, 3:05 Eastern time, right?
Well, that's not when it begins. That's when we get the total part of it.
That's what we get. We're not
yeah,
getting total here anyways in Cincinnati, but
I do.
Cleveland, they will.
I'm far enough north. I'm right on the edge.
Well, good for you. Good. So I'll see it when it gets dark outside. So everybody, thanks for being here. I hope your baseball team is doing well this year. Teresa Hutchinson, how are the Pirates doing?
I believe we're 8-2.
Very good. I can't see much of you, Teresa. Can you bring your camera down? There you go. Thank you so much. All right, folks, you know the drill. If you have a question you want to ask, just raise your hand and I'll get to you right away. If not, I'll just go around the room and just call your name. So we'll start with David. Hello, David.
How you doing?
Everything good here?
Yeah, good. The question I have is, my brother is turning 65 in June. So he's going to do Medicare Part B. But he's on his wife's policy, who just retired from a school district. And he was told that the type of insurance she has, he has to take the Medicare B and pay. And I was not aware of if there was a certain type of insurance that a retired school teacher would get that wouldn't qualify.
Well, the special enrollment period, that's all based on current employment. So once somebody retires, then normally Part B is required by the insurance companies, even if they do a supplement to go along with it. So the fact that she retired is what changed it.
Okay. All right.
Yeah.
So if she's retired and she's going to carry that insurance for another, I don't know how many more years, and she does not qualify for Social Security because she's been on a pension, which also pretty much wiped out any. My brother ended up taking his Social Security at 62 because he basically is not going to get anything out on her side other than the pension, which is nothing to sneeze about. But the Social Security side of things, it factored out based on her pension that there would be no money there from that standpoint.
Yeah, and because the government pension offset, but she could if she's 65. She can get Medicare off of his work record, the hospital insurance premium free. Anybody
Okay,
can get Part B, but she could get Part A premium free off of his record.
okay. When she turns 65, she's not. She's got a
Right.
few years before that, but.
And they may want her to do that when she reaches 65, as they'll say, file for Medicare and then will be the supplement.
Okay. Okay, thank you.
Sure.
Bruce, you raised your hand. We'll go to you, Bruce.
Second, okay, now I'm out and I'll take my hand off. I just want to announce that thank you for introducing me to that certified armor advisor thing. I got certified. Definitely some conflicts and definitely some things to use with the NSSA and the armor stuff. There was stuff that I never knew about, and it's really I think in terms of my planning business, it's gonna help out. God knows how much. That's my own belief. That was all I had to say.
So, how long did it, Bruce, how long did it take you to go through their course?
I'm going to tell you what happened. It was funny,
Yeah.
because, it took me, you can't do it every single day because, you got business to do and everything was happening. So what happened was I got through 10 sections. All of a sudden, they changed some of the information. I had to refresh and go back from day one, but it actually helped me review. So I'd say it took me about 3 weeks to go through everything and read everything. And afterwards, I just took the exam. You had to go get the proctor, you had to go ahead and do everything of that nature. And, I passed on the first shot. So
Very good.
so,
Okay. Well, I'm glad. So Bruce is referring to the IRMA Certified Planner certification, created by two guys, Paul Morrison and Mark Anise. I think they're both with M&O Marketing, but I could be wrong about that. If anyone would like information, just send me an email and I'll send you I'll send you a previously recorded webinar and information about links to register and to get the NSSA discount. So thank you, Bruce. Appreciate it. Christopher, you're next. Oh, wait a second. Richard, do you want to say something?
Yeah, I apologize for interrupting. I didn't know how to raise my hand.
Okay. Okay.
Anyway,
go ahead,
so
Dan.
yeah, real quick, I wanted to give an update to everybody. I get newsletters from Larry Klopp and Terry Savage both, and I do use Larry's software for Social Security. Anyways, they're the ones that were responsible for the 60-minute thing. Terry is used to work at CBS, and of course, her and Larry are got together about printing the horror stories. So here's what they were saying. They did an update on that. There will be a statute stated. The commissioner stated there will be a statute of limitation. Terry and Larry recommended 18 months. I also subscribed to Heather Schreiber's newsletter and found out there's an issue on that it probably will take a new law of Congress because the 2018 Farm Bill eliminates statute of limitation for federal type debts. So that could be an issue. The 10% maximum clawback, I think we're all familiar with. And the problem is, though, is what about people that are currently having their money clawed back? And what about past cases where they have paid in full? So that's still an issue. Third thing is burden of proof is going to be switching from the client to the Social Security Administration. Number 4, there would be the time limitation for requesting a waiver will go from 36 to 60 months, which is an additional 2 years. And then I didn't realize that part of the issue is from what I found out is with payroll companies. So one of the things the commissioner is doing, he's working up with setting up a system with payroll companies like ADP so that Social Security gets the W-2 information. A big issue is the web and the GPO, because I didn't realize this. The 1099, the information is not sent to Social Security. So the claimant might know that they're getting it, but Social Security doesn't. And they found out in some cases, even though the client has given this information to Social Security, some of the agents will refuse to input it for the simple reason because they feel they have to have the physical documentation coming from the third party. One final point, one other point, it was said that for people that have their designation, like the people on this website and myself, is going to be a new opportunity for us because we're going to have people running into the situation that are going to need help. And from what I would read and what was said is attorneys won't touch this because there's no money in it for them. So basically, it's going to be up to people that are familiar with advisors familiar with Social Security to basically help the people. I had one thing and I couldn't figure out. I wanted to ask Jim about it. I don't mean to put you on the spot, Jim, but I don't know if you can answer this or not. The form, and I had it from Schreiber's newsletter, but I don't have it in front of me. Where it's a 10-page form you fill out to request a waiver. But now what the commissioner is saying is that it doesn't have to be written a request anymore. It could be verbal, but they still have the form. So I don't know, how do you request a verbal if you have to fill out a form?
Well, because, yeah, that doesn't make sense, just verbal. You request a waiver, then you have to provide, first of all, a statement as to why the overpayment was not your fault. And then you have to list all of the income and expenses in your household. So I don't know how you get around the form for the waiver. Can't think of the number offhand, but yeah, I don't see how they're going to have to fill something out.
Yeah, the conclusion I came to is that probably not this next year, but the year after, you're going to have to upgrade your webinar and then up there charge what you charge for them so that you can cover this.
Thanks. Yeah, Richard's referring to overpayments and some of the changes that SSA is making to the overpayment policies. There's an opportunity for folks to receive a blog from SSA. And I know Teresa had sent sent me an email with what that link was. So Teresa, if you want to put that, if you want to put that in the chat, folks can pick it up and start to receive their SSA blogs on their own. Again, thank you so much, Richard. I appreciate your comments there. So
That was a form SSA 632 is what he was talking about.
Okay, Jim. Thank you. Let's go to Christopher now. You're up.
Yes, sir. So Caitlin and Keith and I were talking this morning as we were reviewing some of the Social Security information, and the question came up, and it actually came up for me, and it sort of stumped me because I was reviewing what you guys have articulated in the past, and that is divorcees, right? So, I'm not proud of it, but I am divorced, right? I was married for quite a few years, and my ex and I are no longer together. She makes a good living, I make a living, and one of the things I was started to try and delineate and dissect is when you're divorced, if you're married under 2 years, it's one rule. If you're married,
no, not married under
not
2
married,
years, but divorced
under 2 years.
Yeah.
But now, if you're divorced over 2 years, then it's a set of rules. So, if I understand correctly, if you're divorced over 2 years, and we're married at least 10 years, that it doesn't matter whether I file, right, or she files, right? So they can claim, and at what point? So let's say FRA full retirement age is 67. If she takes it early, then it's obviously those reductions and the factors. If it's delayed, if I decide to delay, the max she'll be able to get is based off my FRA at age 67. But it doesn't matter, right, who claims when. So if I wanted, here was my question. If I wanted to collect off hers early, so it's 62 spousal benefit divorce, right? I'm remarried, but I'm not single, so I don't know if that makes a difference.
Makes a
That
difference.
makes a big difference.
Okay, so I'm not able to claim off hers because I'm not single. But if she is single, if she wanted to claim off me,
Nope.
right? I haven't filed.
Now, a couple things, Christopher. So first of all, let's look at what the rule is. If you've been divorced for under 2 years, the ex-spouse you want to draw off of must be collecting their benefit. Number one. You've been divorced for 2 years or longer, then your ex-spouse does not need to be receiving a benefit, but both ex-spouses must be at least age 62. Okay. Now, there's the deemed filing rules, which would indicate that your wife's benefit is probably higher than yours, your ex-wife,
Ex-wife.
because you kind of indicated that. Yeah, and as a result, when she files, she must take her own benefit and she cannot claim off you.
So it's whichever is higher is what you're going to go with.
Yeah, deemed filing.
Deemed filing.
Yeah,
Okay.
you said that she had good earnings. You had earnings, kind of like that. So I
Yeah,
just assume her benefits are higher than yours.
Yeah. All right, cool. Thanks.
Okay,
That was a good
Jim,
question.
add to that.
Nothing to add. You said it all.
Okay. All right, thanks, Christopher. Let's go to Sue. Hello, Sue. Okay, let's go to Judy then. Oh, never mind, Judy. Sorry, Sue's here.
Yeah, can you hear me now?
Yes.
Okay, very good. The first gentleman who posed an issue, and I didn't catch the very last part, age 65, the wife then, if she turns 65, can get off of his record. Now, is that for Social Security or Medicare, please?
Well, we were talking about Medicare because she's not going to draw a benefit because of government pension offset. Technically, she's eligible as a spouse. Apparently, she doesn't have any work under Social Security herself. So she is eligible for benefits as a spouse, but those benefits will be totally offset by government pension offset. However, she still is eligible for Medicare Part A, the hospital insurance, premium free off of her husband's work record.
Okay. So anyone who's retired, let's say from teaching, and they've still continuing their so-called health coverage from their work, even though retired, can the spouse therefore not have to take Medicare or would be covered under theirs so they wouldn't have to be penalized for not taking Medicare right away, please?
Well, that would be up to the service that they have through their retirement. Whatever the rules that those companies have, some would tell them if you're eligible for Medicare, you have to take it. If she wasn't eligible for Part A on somebody else's work record, they generally won't make them take the premium Part A, but they normally still make them take Part B. But each plan is different. So
Okay.
you'd have to see what the plan's rules would be.
And that's what happened with my brother and his wife, is that he had to take Part B.
Yeah, so they required, because he was 65, they required him to take Part B, and because he was insured, he had Part A as well. But
Yeah.
and then they would act as a supplement to the Medicare. Whereas if she were working, even if he had Part B would be secondary. But yeah, most of the plans will require you to take Medicare because it saves them money.
Right. So everyone should be doing their due diligence, whether their spouse is retired with benefits or not, because otherwise the consequences are dire, correct?
Oh yeah, you want to keep checking because if you need to take it and you're not covered because of current employment, you could end up paying more for your Medicare premium.
Yeah, okay. And yet when they say the average individual calls up an institution, whether it be Medicare or Social Security, if their question is not aligned with the individual on staff understanding the question, the two will never meet.
Yeah, well, the Social Security is only going to talk about Medicare entitlement. They won't even talk to you about the other entitlements.
Okay. And I've been away for about a month or that, and one individual, I'm sorry, I didn't grab your name, about statutes of limitations and everything. Is this about Congress making decisions about our future with Social Security, please?
No, that was the discussion we had to deal with overpayments and the fact that Social Security is going to go a little easier on people who are overpaid and not throw down the gauntlet. They're going to try to extend payment periods and stuff like that.
Yeah, and that's through the commissioner, not that he was the one talking about that stuff, not
Yeah.
not Congress.
It's not law, but the commissioner put out that blog.
Okay. And regarding, Social Security and our future, whether, Congress is going to keep kicking the can called the new game of Congress, okay, kick, kick, kick. Is there anyone who's going to be moving on a decision before, say, the election, or are they just going to continue from your perspective of kick, kick, kick?
Kick,
This
kick, kick.
coming election, they're not going to do anything before this coming election. Maybe not even the next couple. I would expect maybe early 2030s before they actually get around to it. That's just based on prior experience.
And I know what you gentlemen have said in the past, chances are they won't do anything with those who are currently receiving because the ramification of elections and all that. Would they just be nibbling at just, peripheries of all the types of benefits for the younger population? What's your essence still, please?
That's usually what they do. Is it'll be for people that aren't receiving yet, that are normally, say, under age 55. They see the biggest changes. There might be a few changes if they up what you pay the Social Security tax on. That could affect anybody that's working, regardless of your age. But as far as entitlements are concerned, it's going to be for people down the road, not folks that are either receiving or close to receiving.
Okay. And the word entitlements, that's even the press goes along with, and we all accept in that. What should be the word that everyone's using instead of entitlements? Because we've all paid into this puppy.
Yeah, I say what you're entitled to receive because, as you said, you paid into it. I'm not sure what word you use, but when they call it entitlements, I yell at them.
Okay.
And then my wife says, they can't hear you, they're on TV, but I still yell at them.
Okay, so entitled to receive because we paid into.
Exactly. You're entitled to it because you paid into it and it's your money.
Okay, can anyone online right
Wow.
now think of a word that would bite them every single time they say
Wow.
entitlement? Because
Insurance.
I'm
It's
sorry.
It's old age insurance.
Okay.
And
Okay.
it's survivor, disability and survivor, but it's an insurance product that we pay into.
And it's ours.
Okay. Hey, folks, we need to move on a little bit. Is that okay,
Thank you.
Sue?
Yes,
Thank you. All right, Judy, your turn.
Just on the call to listen.
Okay, thank you,
Don't
Judy. I
have any
appreciate it.
questions.
Hey, Mark, this is Glenn.
Yes, Glenn.
I had to take a call, so I don't know if you missed me, but
Mm.
I can't believe you changed this to 2:00. The eclipse is starting here in Northeast Ohio.
Yeah, I get it. I know. Well, what can I do?
So people are driving and flying for miles to get here, and then you have a webinar, but.
Yeah, I know.
Just a quick question.
Keeps you indoors and safe, Glenn.
Yeah, well, I have a quick question. I think I know the answer to, but I had somebody come in last week with OPERS, Ohio Public Employees. And this guy just doesn't want to hear about not getting all her Social Security benefits. And she had 25 years into Social Security. She has a refundable, it says on our OPERS statement, of $96,000. Or she can take a $1,400 a month pension. He's saying, well, if I take the $96,000 and invest it, then she should be able to get full Social Security. And I don't think that's correct. And I just thought I told him I would check with the experts.
You are correct.
Yeah.
That's called a unique payment. And what they will do is take that $96,000 and her age at the time she rolls it over, and they will use her life expectancy at that point and determine a monthly benefit payment to use. Still going to be subject to WEP, still going to be subject to government pension offset. You can't get out of it by taking a lump sum and rolling it over into an IRA or 401k, even if you don't draw money out right away. I mean, the rules keep kicking that down the road a little bit as to when you have to take your minimum withdrawal. But they'll say, well, this is what it's worth and this is what we're going to use.
Yeah, he even mentioned that. He said, we don't need the income, but if I just leave the $96,000 there, I said, it's a benefit to her. I didn't see how she could avoid it, even if he didn't take it.
Yeah, you can't avoid it that way.
Yeah, very good. The only last question, 25 years in Social Security, do you have any idea what I think he thought her Social Security be reduced by 60%. Does that sound right? Sounds a little high.
Yeah, I'd have to get my fingers out. Let's see. 25 years, so that's what, 26, 27, so that's
5 years.
25%. Yeah, about 65%. If my math is right. But that's if all the years are years of substantial earnings. They may not be substantial earnings.
Right. Gotcha. So a 65% reduced, or 65% of she would get?
65% of Ben point one, instead of 90%, they would use 65%.
Okay. All right, that's all.
Yeah, pull up the windfall elimination provision fact sheet. If you just Google that, you should be able to pull it up, and it will show all the years, and then she can determine exactly how many she has, and then it'll tell you what percent of Ben point one will be.
Thank you.
Sure.
Okay, thanks, Glenn. Fraser, you're up next. Can't hear you. There you go.
No, I'm gonna give my time to somebody else. I'm just listening, Mark. It's good
Okay.
stuff. And thank you as
Thank
always.
you.
for
Okay.
doing this.
Lynn, you're next.
The only question I have is if you could update the website for the locations on where the classes that you're holding are going to be.
Oh, they've already been updated. It's been updated for a
It
year.
just says the city, but it doesn't say.
Oh, I don't put the locations down there. And that's
well,
because
then
if
how am I supposed to book a hotel?
well, you just tell me and I'll give you the location. But if I put locations on there, people would show up without paying. What
Okay.
class? What day?
Haven't decided. It depends on what my schedule looks like
Okay.
coming
Well,
out of tax season.
You tell me what day and what city, and I'll tell you what hotel. It's all been
Okay,
set.
will do.
Okay.
All right.
Thanks,
you.
Lynn. Okay. Hey, Greg, you're next, Greg.
Yeah, I guess quick question scenario and how it plays out. So if husband has a pension and he passes away, wife is collecting Social Security on her own earnings record. She's already full retirement age. Is there any impact on her check because she's now getting a survivorship on the pension?
What type of pension you talking about? Government pension?
Yes,
Okay.
correct.
No impact. She did
No
not work.
impact.
She did not work for the government. So she can claim her own Social Security and her own government pension. Survivor
Excellent.
pension. That's exactly my situation. I'm collecting my own Social Security benefits and her full survivor benefits. So I'm getting both checks.
Very good. Thank you for the review.
Well, no problem. Thanks, Greg. Teresa, hello.
Hello, just listening in today, got nothing to ask.
Okay. Thanks, Teresa. Go Steelers. I'll say that. Except when they play you know who. Hi, George.
Let's see, I've got a few for you. One is the spouse decides that they want to file for benefits, divorce. They're divorced and she's interested in filing for benefits. Does the others have to find out?
Wait a second. Go ahead.
Does the other ex-spouse find out, or they can do it without the other ex-spouse find out?
The ex-spouse will not know.
Not know. Okay.
No. No. Could you imagine if the ex-spouse was notified? That would be terrible.
Yeah. Okay. Right. Okay. And how about this one? A couple more. Tiara, I have there's a Texas retirement system here where they don't get Social Security check because they didn't get paid into it. They have their own system. But they do qualify for Medicare benefits. Can you explain that difference, please?
Jim?
Well, it's the same with the old civil service folks. You don't pay the Social Security tax, but you pay the Medicare portion of the tax. So the 1.45% of the FICA tax is for Medicare. So they don't pay the full ride, but they do pay the Medicare tax, which makes them entitled to Medicare, but like I said, in my case, that was free money because I'd have been entitled off of my wife's record. So, but I still paid the Social Security tax. So what you see when you look at their benefit statement is you may see 0 years under Social Security taxed earnings, and under the Medicare taxed earnings, you'll see a dollar amount. And that's what's happening in that case.
Okay, and lastly, the difference between the SSI and the DI. I know DI, I believe they have to have worked at least 5 years to get 20 work credits, and SSI is for individuals that did not. Can you elaborate a little bit and just where does that money come from if they did not?
Well, the SSI program is a needs-based program, doesn't require any work at all under Social Security covered employment. Now, the money for the SSI program, if you're under 65, you have to be disabled. If you're 65 or older, it's just based on your age. But they're going to look at your resources, your income, any resources you have, that will affect your benefit payment. That comes out of the general tax fund, doesn't affect the Social Security Trust Fund at all. So it's a separate payment. When SSI first started, it was administered out of the county welfare offices. Now it's Job and Family Services. But in 1974, they were called welfare offices. And in 74, they just moved the administration of the program to the Social Security office, I guess because it's a federal program and they wanted to maybe keep it as federalized as possible. But yeah, that's the biggest difference is one, with SSD, it doesn't matter if you have an inheritance of $1 million, you'll still get your benefit. With SSI, you would lose that benefit. So SSDI is not needs-based, but SSI is.
Okay, thank you.
Carrie, you're up.
Good afternoon. I have a question on the Social Security formula because we do a lot of business with the state pensions for the public sector employees. Is there a formula between Social Security and then the 403B pension, or is that just they have to go through Social Security to figure out what their shortage is?
Well, you could find it. It's in PALMS. Most people aren't going to have any knowledge of PALMS, but there is a chart, and the chart would show the person's age when they took the benefit or rolled the money over, and then it would give you the amount that they're going to use for a monthly amount in the computation of the benefits. If you want to send me an email, I can send you the links for those. Even though technically there's a chart for windfall elimination and a chart for government pension offset, they're exactly the same. So one would work for the other. But yeah, send me an email and I'll send you the link for that and you can take a look.
Okay, I've got Mark's email, but I don't know that I have yours, Jim. Would you put it in the chat?
Well, it's the same as Mark's, except instead of M. Kiner, it's J. Blair, B-L-A-I-R.
Okay, thank you.
Sure. I mean, I can put it in the chat if you want, but if you don't need it,
okay, thank you.
Sure.
Thanks, Carrie. Let's go to Kate. Yeah, Kate, you're next.
Hey, how's it going?
Everything's good here, Kate. Thanks for being here.
Good, good. I just have a hypothetical question. So, government employee, they are getting a pension, and they also get a small Social Security check. I was just wondering how that would work, because this woman, I am working with a woman, but I don't know if she has an ex-spouse or was a widower, either of those things. Is she entitled to anything more than what she's getting? Because she's only going off of her own record at this point. So is there any, I guess what I'm saying is there a benefit if she were to claim on her ex-spouse or if she was a widower?
It's hard to say. It depends on the amount of her pension. So with windfall,
like
you're always,
yeah.
huh?
It's 5,000.
Oh, so 2/3 of that would come off of any survivor benefit that she would be eligible for. Whereas with windfall, it just changes the percentage on Ben point one. So there's always a guarantee of a benefit under government pension offset, which affects the spouse's survivor benefits, those benefits off of someone else's work record. Those can be zero because they look at your gross pension. 2/3 of that comes off of the benefit.
Okay. Okay, thank you.
Thanks, Kate. Let's go to Mark. Hi, Mark.
Hey everyone, how are you today?
Good, thanks.
Just a real super quick question. For renewals, Mark, do you send out and do you guys keep track of when that date is and send an email?
I do.
Okay,
If you think I'm behind, send me an email and I'll look into it. Because
and then do we also have to keep the dates that we were on these calls?
Yeah. I don't record. You'll have to fill out the CE tracking form, Mark, when it's time.
Excellent.
Yeah. When do you think your renewal date is?
Oh, I still have another year because it's a 2 years, 2 years from the time you take the test, right?
Yeah. But not take it, but pass it.
Pass it, right? Yeah.
You got it. You can take it and flunk it. All right. Thanks, Mark. I appreciate it. JR, you're next. Okay, let's go to Andrew. Hello, Andrew.
Hey, Mark, sorry for my tardiness. I actually don't have
noticed.
a specific question or case today. I just wanted to listen in and get some
Okay.
feedback.
Say hi to the other Greens in your office. You have too many of them there. You get me confused. Okay. Now, Judy, we've been with you, right? Shake your head, yes or no. Okay. You guys are moving all over on me today. We've got Jeffrey. Yeah, you guys are moving all over. If I've already called in, you just let me know. Jeffrey, if I called on you.
You have not, but just listening today. Thanks, Mark.
Okay. Brian, you're next. Okay. I think, Brian, you're having trouble with your audio. Okay. We'll go to Faye. Hi, Faye.
He did have a question in the chat, though.
Is that the guy who had a question in the chat? Okay, I didn't read the chat yet. Okay, we'll read it now. My speaker is not working. I have a question. Well, that's Gus. Anyway, we'll read it anyways. Will the Social Security benefit of a person increase when the other spouse dies? Where you have a widow or widow benefit is 100% versus a living spouse is only 50%, so it does go up. Especially if the deceased spouse was earning significantly more than she does. So yeah, surviving spouses receive 100% of what the deceased spouse was receiving or eligible to receive at death, and that 100% is the amount received at the surviving spouse's full retirement age for survivor benefits, which could be different than these full retirement age for retirement benefits, but I don't want to go there now. So anyway, I hope we answered that question. Faye, you're next.
Hi, I'm just listening today. Thanks.
Thank you, Faye. Darlene, hello, Darlene.
Good afternoon, Mark. I do not have any questions today. Thanks.
Thanks, Darlene. Bart, you're next. Bart, are you there? Okay. Go to
just listening today.
Okay,
Thanks.
Bart, thank you. Donna, you're next, Donna.
Hi, Mark. I'm just listening today. Thank you.
Okay, you're welcome. Ethan, hello, Ethan.
Hey, just listening today.
Okay. Sandy. Let's see.
Hi.
Okay. There you are.
Thanks for doing this. I didn't realize that you had this.
Oh yeah,
So I
we've
just
had it
happened
for what?
upon your email.
I think 3 years now, right, Jim?
I don't know how long. We've been doing it for a while.
For a while. Yeah,
I
pleasure.
appreciate the discussion. I did listen to the one about the Irma. I found that really interesting. But so I don't have a question prepared, but I do have a thought for the WEP. You know, if you're calculating a WEP for somebody, how do you find the AIME? Is that actually on a statement? Because I have not been able to locate that. It's not. How do you get that?
Well, you can go to SSA.gov and look at their online calculators, but I don't think you'll get it then either. Jim, what are your thoughts?
Yeah, the calculator will calculate it for you, but it won't give you the AIME.
Yeah.
Probably the easiest way to get it is to calculate it yourself.
Yeah.
Which might mean an email to me with the earnings statement, and I can run a quick calculation for you. But yeah, otherwise the Amy doesn't show up anywhere, so you never know what it is.
Yeah,
Okay.
Sandy, you need the earnings history for every year they worked. That's a
Okay.
separate document than the Social Security benefit statement.
Right.
You also need to know the indexing factors in the year that the person attained age 62. And if you have both that information, you can do the calculation. Not easy, but you can do it. But Jim does it all the time.
Really?
And
Okay.
if somebody wants to do it themselves, I've got every year of indexing factors. It used to go back to 1944, but I decided I didn't need it to go back that far anymore. But I've got it broken out by year, starting with folks born in born in 62, their indexing factors. So it's just a spreadsheet I've got. I'll share it with you. If you want to send me an email, I'll send you my spreadsheet.
All right, I appreciate that. I have gone through, just to first look at the substantial earnings to see what would actually qualify. And then if I have that information, I could send that to you.
Yeah, the main thing we need is the earnings statement and the person's date of birth.
Okay, and what you're doing really is adding all of those only substantial, right? And taking an average of it?
Well, actually, I put in all their earnings.
Yeah.
Then I picked the high 35 from that.
Okay.
Yeah, you're
All right.
confusing substantial earnings with WEP, with what percent of the first spend point you get. So it's a different issue. We look at the highest 35 years of indexed earnings. We add all that together. We divide that by 420. It's the number of months in 35 years, and that's the Amy.
Oh, all right. Thank you.
Sounds easy. Okay. Now, I've kind of lost track a little bit, folks. Ida, let's go to Ida, because I know I haven't gone to you yet. Okay, Ida, let's go to Liz. Hi, Liz.
Hi, Mark.
Hi. It seems like when somebody starts talking, they move up to the middle of my screen, and that just confuses me. Anyway, Liz, you're on.
I have a quick question. I want to talk about the spousal benefits for a spouse that never worked. So, and what is really the best process for applying for those? And the reason this came up, I have a gentleman who is 70 now, and he applied for his benefits, and then they applied for the spouse's benefits online, and she got a letter saying that she doesn't have any benefits. Now, she never worked, but that she also doesn't qualify for any other benefits. And I'm thinking it's because his is still pending and not approved. So what would be the best process timing to apply for those spousal benefits for somebody that never worked? Or is there some other issue going on here with her?
Yeah, it's usually better if if she waits until his is processed. So either he'll receive a letter or starts getting payments, because they probably just programmed in his number and it didn't show any benefits. Although if he's age 70, they should have dug a little harder. But once he starts to receive or it's been processed, then when they pull up his number, they would see that she's eligible. She can appeal it so that she doesn't lose her filing date.
Okay.
Or the fact that he listed her on his application should protect her anyway. But what I also tell people, if they're in that situation, they're not eligible on their own, is to put a remark in the comment section that says, I'm applying for spousal benefits. And if their spouse just then applied, you could put the date that I'm applying for spousal benefits. My spouse applied 4/8/24, and then they would know that the application is pending.
Okay. Okay. That's helpful.
Thanks, Liz.
Thank you.
Okay. Let's go to Allison. Hello, Allison.
Hi, I don't have any questions today. I'm just listening in. Thank you.
Okay, Allison, let's go to Scott. Hello, Scott. Okay, there you go. Scott can't hear you. Okay, we'll move on to Fred. Hi, Fred. Okay, let's just listening. Thanks, Fred. Deborah, you're next.
Just listening today, guys.
Okay. Now, Nick, I don't think I've gotten to you, Nick. Go for it.
I don't really have any questions in particular. The only question I have is more of a, I guess, more of a software question. Is there any particular Social Security planning software that everyone is finding very valuable? I mean, I'm looking at Social Security Analyzer, which I know is a big one, and there's some other ones out there, but I just wanted to get input from the group while I'm looking at these.
Well, I can tell you, we do not recommend any particular software package, but I can tell you that there are three or four that our advisors tend to use: Money Guide Pro, Social Security Advisor, Covisum, and Social Security Pro. They're all good software packages, as far as I know.
So the Covisum, I've heard that one, and then what was the second one? I heard Money Pro, and then what was the second one?
Social Security Pro. They're located out of Charlotte, North Carolina. I think Social Security Pro even has a little widget you could put on your website. So prospects can find it and they could enter information from their Social Security benefit statement. And then you'll have an opportunity to begin a discussion with them. I think it's like $20 a month, but don't quote me on that. And it's a seamless, if you're going to do that, it's a seamless transition to use their actual software. But I tend to believe you could probably use that widget with any software tool that's out there.
Okay. All right.
Now, anybody would like to chime in reference to what you're using and what you like or don't like about it?
Mark?
Yes.
Yeah, Nick, if you want to email, I'll discuss this with you, and I'll tell you what I use and why I use it.
Okay.
And in particular why I use it, because I'm not licensed anymore, but the software that I use also has software for financial planning. But anyways, I can be reached at Noot, NOOT.Richard@gmail.
Say that one more time.
Noot, NOOT.Richard@gmail.com.
Got it.
Any other comments you'd like to make?
Yeah, Mark, this is Jeff. I'll chime in on this.
Okay, Jeff.
We use Maximize My Social Security.
Okay.
And one of the reasons, and I know
that was another one I was looking at, because that's only $300 a year.
It's one of the reasons we choose it. We do a lot of work with families with special needs.
Okay.
And this seems to be one of the only ones that considers you can actually put SSI. It considers the CDB for the child and things like that, and the spousal child in care benefits, which some of the other ones don't, to my knowledge. If they do, I'd really like to know, but I haven't done any more extensive research. But I don't know that it's the best software, but it includes some of those things that
I appreciate that, Jeffrey. I actually pulled some of the ones I already knew, and then some of the ones I was looking at, I actually pulled off of Michael Kitsis's FinTech recent one that I got the email from. So I was checking it out over the weekend.
I'm just going to chime in again, Nick. That's who I use. If you still want to talk to me, I'm more than willing to talk to you. But like I said, there's other features that, especially like, I'm just going to quickly mention too, is that Terry and Dr. Cocklecop, Larry, we call
Larry,
the one that did the 60-minute. And it actually was mentioned on their software that he developed over the years. But there's two versions. There's a personal version, which is like $39. If you're an advisor, they charge $2.99 a year is what they charge.
Right, yeah.
There's other features, and if you want to call me, give me a call, and I'll be more than happy to talk to you, so.
Ida, do you want to say something? I guess not. Okay.
Thanks, Richard.
All right. Thanks, folks. Appreciate that.
Yep.
Jim, time to award a couple of gift cards. Pick two numbers between 1 and.
I didn't get to speak today.
Oh, John, go for it, buddy.
I apologize. I was bouncing all over because I had some connection issues. So
Yeah, you
apologize.
were. And yeah, you got it. But you're on now.
Okay, real quick question. If I have a client who is in the middle of a divorce and has started paperwork, will she get to claim the 10-year rule if she's divorced? She started divorce papers. They have not been awarded divorce, and she's really close to the 10-year mark. So if the actual divorce date is after the 10-year mark, will she be able to claim on her X if it's obviously more?
Well, the 10-year rule will end with the date that's is stamped on the divorce decree when it's filed with the court system. So it's not when it's signed. It's when it's actually entered into the records.
And does that normally, so if they start the paperwork, let's just say a year before, and they're still going on this long, arduous divorce, and they actually get divorced 10 years and a month later, does she fall into the 10-year rule?
I would say yes, Jim. What are you thinking?
Yeah, she'd be good to go then. So tell her to drag her feet.
Okay, thank you. Appreciate it.
Okay.
This is Ida here.
Hi, Ida. You're on.
Yes, I was invited as a guest, so thank you very much. But I do have a question about the spousal benefit.
Yeah.
My husband, he's 71 and he was getting his own benefit and I'm getting mine too. But then he found out that he could get the spousal benefit, which half of mine was more than what he was getting. So does he need to do anything now that he's reached the full age?
He needs to contact Social Security up and schedule either they'll take the application for the spousal benefit over the phone, or you can schedule an in-person meeting at a local office. But contact SSA, otherwise the spousal benefit will not be paid.
Oh, now he's getting it. Well, if I'm understanding correctly, what is the half of mine? I thought that was the spousal.
Well, but you said he's not receiving a spousal. We call that the spousal boost. He's receiving his own benefit, right, Ida?
No, he's getting the spousal benefit. And my question was, does he need to go back and get his own benefits now that he's 70?
Well, deemed filing would say he's receiving his benefit plus the spousal boost. So he can't go back now and tell, there's no, in my mind, there's no additional benefit he's eligible for. He's getting his own plus the spousal boost off your work record. Jim, your thoughts?
Well, when did he turn 70?
Let's see, in 2022. So he's actually 71 now.
So maybe he did file the restricted application. I'd contact Social Security just to be sure. He should contact them to see if he could get more off of his own work record. It doesn't hurt to ask. Worst they'll say is what you're getting is the most you're going to receive, but he may be eligible for more. So if he's getting from your work record and not from his own, now that he's past 70, he needs to file on his own and see if he can get more.
Okay.
So Ida, even though I was right, Jim is righter.
Okay. Thank you.
Good point, Jim. He might have filed that restricted app. Good point, Jim. All right. Jim, now pick two numbers between 1 and 34, please.
9 and 25.
Okay, I need to do some counting. Richard. You win a $50 gift card. Darlene. So Richard and Darlene, send me an email, please. mkiner@mypremierplan.com and I will send to you, my son will electronically send to you $50 Amazon gift card. Okay, Jim? What? Richard?
Is it okay for me to say that you can give that to somebody else? I already got it once before.
Okay, fair enough. Donna Sanders. You will win the $50 gift card. Thanks, Richard.
Yeah.
And so,
Richard?
One last, I think we still got a couple
wait a
minutes.
second. I need to wait. Donna, just send me an email, please.
Okay.
M. Kiner, KINER, premierplan.com. Okay, Richard.
All right,
But I
thank you.
wanted to ask Jim a question, so let's see what we can do.
Go ahead.
Okay, Jim, you answered a question today for somebody who lives in Colorado and had a question about common law. Explain what your answer was on that one, please.
Well, that one was a tough one. I guess her partner, who was her common law husband, was from Japan and had no family. Part of a common law determination requires Social Security contact two family members to see, did you consider yourself husband and wife? First of all, they said she wasn't eligible for widow benefits because they didn't live together. That would only affect the lump sum, would not affect a widow's benefit. And in her case, the lump sum should still be payable because they weren't living together because he was in hospice. And he was in hospice for 2-3 months before he passed. So she will need to file an appeal on that, or if she hasn't applied yet, and that's kind of the impression I got, she should file an application, get an official determination so she can file an appeal. It's going to be a little tough for her proving the common law, but it's not impossible. So she needs to go ahead and file the application and then file an appeal if they deny her.
Thanks, Jim. Okay, Richard, we only have a couple minutes to go.
Yeah, so we need to be proactive, especially advisors like myself that do more than just Social Security, whether it's tax planning, which I do, or investment planning. But Deb and Carol came out with a YouTube, it was 2 weeks ago, the RSC came out with their budget plan. The RSC, that's the Republican survey committee, and this is what they were proposing. Now, understand, here's the big thing about this, is that it has co-sponsors of 80% of Congress. Point number one, they want to reduce or increase the full retirement age of 69. The second point, they wanted to increase that first bend point for wealthier individuals. And it appears what they consider wealthier people is the ones that have that first bend point, which is approximately $85,000 a year. The third point is the major one. To do away with all auxiliary benefits, any spousal benefits, any child and care benefits, any child benefits. Again, it's just a proposal, but when you have 80% of the support of Congress, it's something that I think we should keep an eye on. So,
okay, thanks, Richard. Final question, John. You're on, John.
Okay. Oh, and just a recommendation. It'd be nice if we knew in advance who was the next person, because sometimes I gotta
well, people they've been jumping around on me a little bit.
Yeah. Anyway.
Okay.
I had something else to add to that question I asked about the 10-year rule. She's been paying into CalPERS her whole time, so she does not have access to Social Security. Will she have access to his Social Security if she's never paid into it?
Well, technically, she's eligible for a benefit off of his record, 50% of his full retirement age benefit at her full retirement age. But CalPERS will offset that benefit. 2/3 of her pension will be subtracted from it. So if she has a pretty decent pension, she may not receive anything except maybe Medicare.
Medicare.
Yeah, she can still get Medicare at 65, but she may not get a benefit amount. It just depends on the amount of her CalPERS pension.
Okay, so I'll need to have some numbers and send that to you, right, to figure that out?
Sure.
And when you say she would have access to Medicare, are you suggesting the fact that she probably has lifetime coverage with the CalPERS? Why wouldn't
Well,
she
she
have
might, but they may want her to file for Medicare if she's eligible once she retires. And so that's something she'll need to check with them on. She may not have to. They may say, well, you don't have any coverage under Social Security on your own, so you're fine. But technically, if she files for anything on his record, whether she gets it or not, then she'll at least have Medicare Part A.
Part A, but not B?
She can refuse B if she wants, but if she takes A, they'll probably make her take B in retirement.
Yeah, she's retiring at 50 here, and she's got 15 years to go. So,
oh yeah, she's got ways to go yet.
So she could actually get a job, get paid for it, and start paying into Social Security.
Yeah, and she'll get something. She'll be subject to windfall, but she's guaranteed something in that situation.
Okay.
You know, I get enough from Social Security to pay for my Medicare and my other health insurance. So I'm subject to windfall. And while I don't get a lot, I get a whopping $391 a month. Not sure what I do with all that, but you know, it still covers my my Medicare premium comes out of that, and that's enough that it more than covers my federal health insurance.
Hey, folks, we need to close up shop. We're going to have totality here in Cincinnati pretty soon. So when the sun goes down, it's my bedtime. So anyway, folks, thanks so much for being here. Appreciate it. And we will see you in a couple weeks or so, whenever the next open forum is, or the next Social Security update is coming up, I think before then. All right, folks. Bye, everyone. See ya.
Bye.
Thanks, Mark. Thanks, Jim.